Hey guys, Mike V here from Reliable Automotive Equipment. Today we're going to be talking about the Wielander Schill variable speed spot weld cutting drill, some of the new bits that are out for it, and the air saws and some of the new air saw that's out for doing the boron steels. So we're going to go into the Wielander Schill, the variable speed spot weld cutting drill, and we're going to go into some of the drill bits, some of the differences between the mild, the high strength, and the boron bits. So set up on this. This is really a nice system because you can actually control the speed, torque of the machine, and then how much strength is going into the push of the bit on the steel itself. So we'll set this up as a demo here on the side. So when we do set up on the drill bit, we have our adjusting points here that when we move this, we can get more of a depth cut with the setting here and back it off a little bit, and you can get less of the depth cut. So obviously the goal here is to drill through one panel without going into the other one. So the initial setup here is if we can make the drill bit even with this little step right here by adjusting this, that automatically sets us up to around 0.8 millimeters of a depth cut to start with. So now we can take that, see how we're cutting on it, and we can make adjustments as we go. So this you're able to have, when you first pull the trigger, it'll start the gun. You can adjust speed here. And then once this goes in, then it'll pull in against the back for doing the cut on the panel. So when we put it in position, we want to go ahead and just let the nose cone piece rest right up on the piece, start the drill itself, and then as we start pulling in on this, so when that bottoms out where we've set the setting on it, the more you pull on this, it's not going to cut any further than what's already been set on it. So we can test that as we go along. If that's been a deep enough cut, we're fine with it. If not, we can adjust it a little bit more or a little bit less. The key factor on this is the amount of pressure that you put on the drill bit itself. So you're able to maintain the speed of the drill versus one of the all-air ones where it actually has air for the rotation of the drill and air for the power of pulling the drill into it. The problem with that is when your drill bits start getting a little bit dull, you increase the airspeed of the gun to put more power on it, speeding up the speed of the bit, and you ended up burning out your bits prematurely. So on this one, you're able to maintain the correct RPMs of the drill bit, control the pressure manually with pulling in on this, and you also get a better feel for how this is cutting into the material. So as we go into the different type of bits, the different bits that are setting right here, you basically have your mild to high strength steel, your ultra high strength, and then you have your boron steel. So the basic difference in the bits is the amount of cutting edges that are on these, where we start out with having 2 all the way up to having 4. The more cutting edges on here, the higher strength material this will cut. So this is a really great bit for doing boron steel. This is a great bit for doing some of the milder into the high strength steels. So when you look at the side of different drill bits, some of the information on there of what it has. On a boron bit, you might see different readings. USABOR, BTR abbreviation, or a BOR abbreviation. They all come out to be the same grade of steel. These are just some different names from wherever the country that the steel came from. So on the ultra high strengths, the borons, the USABOR, it's very important to keep the speed, the RPM, down around 900 RPMs. So on this drill assembly, this has actually been redesigned where this actually has a little bit lower RPM than the original one. This is 1,000 RPMs on this system, but they also put more torque into the gun itself. So you can maintain the low speeds and still have good cutting power as you're going through the products. And I just have these little bits laying out here. The gold coating, these are actually called TINs. And a lot of you guys have seen them for drilling out, for doing some of the pop rivets and all that. And the TIN stands for a Titan nitride coating. And what this is, it's very similar to like a Teflon-like product where it's going to eliminate some of the friction on it. It makes it a better wearing drill bit. Same thing though with these is watch your speeds on the RPMs, because when you go past the rating of what you're supposed to be drilling through, especially in the higher strength materials, you just end up creating a lot more heat. These drill bits that are designed to go through the boron and the use of boron materials, they don't hold well up to heat, just like boron does not. So the more friction that you have, the higher speed, putting too much pressure on the gun. Remember, let the drill bit do the cutting. These are designed to have relatively light pressure going in. Cutting oil is a great thing. It only takes about 1 drop of cutting oil on the bit to help that, and that helps reduce friction, and it also helps cool the bits and helps move some of the material out of the way to do the drill bit process. When you're also drilling out boron spot welds, even high-strength spot welds, you really want to take a good quality center punch and clean off the area of the spot weld where you're going to be drilling, and then take the center punch and start with that. Because the most important start of when you're starting on spot welds going into here, make sure there's no little burrs from the spot weld around the area. If there are burrs there, clean them out of the way, because if the edge of the drill bit catches one of those burrs on the spot weld, it's going to put undue pressure on it, and you do have a good chance of snapping part of the bit off. So by taking care of the preparation process of drilling it, by making sure that you have the right bit, by using the cutting oil, take your time with the process. I realize that sometimes it seems it takes longer time to do the drilling out of them, but you have to realize what you're working with. If you're working with a steel that does not drill fast, then just take your time with it. You get much better results with it. You get much better life out of the bit. Another great tip is you should get around 100 drills with the boron drill bits. When you start getting to the end, if you've taken care of the drill bit properly, you can continue on using that same bit for going into some more mild steel. So you actually get an extended life out of the drill bit assembly itself. So a couple of things here on the gun assembly. We did go over the adjustment, which is this piece right here. This gold piece here just basically moves your depth of the cut in and out. A little plus and minus sign on here, which actually tells you what direction to go into. This little piece here for pulling back, this little hook comes off. This whole assembly comes off, and they actually do make a bigger piece for this that will just slide on, and then this little hook just comes back, and this will do the same thing. So when you're pulling the trigger, that hits the trigger of the gun itself, and then this moves the whole piece for pulling depth on the back. You can use the gun without these. All you're going to do then is just take the gun straight in, use this as a guide, put your pressure in on the system, and let the drill bit do the cutting. This does make it easier if you have easy access to a point. If you are trying to cut something away where you do have a lot of material in the way of it, if this material is part of the panel that's coming off, go ahead and do a rough cut on the panel, get the panel out of your way, and then you can get one of the little hook assemblies right over on the side, and this will give you better control of your welds. So they make a nice extension for this. So the way that the drill bits come out, the little Allen wrench comes in the product. We just spin this around, and right, if we push that down, there's the little Allen key right in there. We just loosen that up. The bit comes out, and if you do notice on the bits, there is a flat spot in there. Make sure that when you put the bits into the gun assembly, that the flat spot does line up with the Allen screw, so that when you snug that up, that has a nice flat surface for it, and it's bottomed out in the drill itself. So to put the extension piece on, same thing, does have a little flat spot on there, so we just put that right through into where the Allen wrench is. Tighten up the set screw, and now you can put your bit in here. And now you have a great extension to get into a deeper area and bring your bit in, and you can still do your drill with the spot weld and the control of the gun. So major importance is that make sure that your bit is straight up and down wherever you're going to be drilling. If you have any little bit of an angle on it, you're going to put undue pressure on the teeth on the sides and have a chance of snapping one of the teeth off the sides of the drill bit. All right, so we're going to go over air saws right now. Wielander Schill air saws, there's a couple different models out. They actually now have an air saw that has a variable speed built into this, which is nice so you can control some of the strokes that you have on that. Then they have also come out with a newer design for the boron steels. There's some new blades available, a little bit different looking than some of the other blades that they've had in the past. So these are actually designed to go through, have a longer throw on the blade, and they slow down the speed a little bit, increase the torque, but they also increase the stroke of the blade up to 10 millimeters, which gives it a more finer cut than the other ones had on the other steels. So this one works really good on the boron systems. This one still works good on with the blades that go in here. All the blades that were designed for the previous models will still work in this one, but the new blades that have been designed for this gun will not work in these. So the nice part of doing this, we'll do a little demo here on this. So when doing the air saw, you have your little safety on the trigger right here. And then you want to make sure that you're nice and firm on the material with the backing piece on it. Adjustable, so we can get more power. So you see it gives a really nice, smooth, clean, fast cut on it. You can adjust speeds on here. You can really dial it down or speed it back up again. So the steels that you're doing, again, similar to the spot weld drilling, whatever steels that you're going to be going to, you want to match the blade up for the steel that you're going to be using and the amount of speed on the blade, what it's designed for. So most important thing is as you're going through your process and you look at your repair procedure sheets, that'll give you a guideline of what type of steel that you're going through. There's a lot of OEs that have very specifics on what blades that they have on their program. So whatever program that you're on, look at your repair procedure sheets, your requirements for the blades that they call for on that, because they have the blades designed for the specific products. Remember, even though it says high strength steel, use of bore, boron, the aluminum series, the 4000, the 5000 series, there are slight differences in the engineering of the steels when they make these products. So when they design the different saw blades, the different drill bits, the different things for cutting the materials, they've designed them for those specific products. So on your OE procedure sheets where they're telling you to use a specific blade on cutting a specific steel, the engineers have it designed to give you the best cut on that. The nice thing about these saws is that they actually make a set of files that we can put in the saws, and we can actually take a round hole and turn it into a square hole. They make a half round one with a flat on one side, they make a round one, and they make a triangular blade. So in all the air saws, they will accept them all. So we just take the blade out, and we take which one we want to put in. There's a little hole there in the center. You can position this any way around that you want as you're going to be doing it. Snug it back up again. So if you do need to put a square hole in an area, you can just drill the round hole the way that you want it. You can take the flat part of the blade, and you can start squaring it up relatively quickly and pretty nicely. So again, the blades that are available on this, we will have a listing on the website. There will also be a listing on this video to show the different styles of blades and what they are used for. You again have your different grades of mild steel, high strength steel, boron steel, ultra high strengths, and the different aluminums. They do make blades that with a very skinny blade on it. It is great for making radius cuts. They have blades rated for going through the aluminum structure. They have it rated for going through composites, going through plastics, and all the steels. They do recommend that the air pressure on this is really no more than 120 psi. So they call it between 6 to 8 bars, European standards on it. The nice thing is they actually make an air adapter that will convert any air pressure that you have down to 7 bars. So it is important that these are running at the correct air pressure. So you should all have one of these on your systems, because most of our air systems in here are above 120 pounds in the shops. So that will extend the life of the tool. That will also give you better cutting power on the blades and longer life on the blades, because again, anything that you're running over speed, you're going to be creating too much heat and friction on it. Especially the boron steel blades will not hold up well to heat. So you want to have them running at the right speeds that they should be running at. All right, well, that wraps it up for going over both these products. Our number and name is on the screen for any other information. Go to the website. We'll have all the products listed on there. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.